Hi everybody, this is Con on the Road. So, as you all know, the talk of the town at this point in time where cars in Malaysia are concerned is of course none other than the all-new third generation Perodua Myvi. Now enough has been written about that car online that it really needs no further introduction lah. Okay, so but what I want to comment about that car is the significance of the new Myvi is that besides being Malaysia's favorite car and set to continue being Malaysia's favorite car, it brings a new level of expectations to what consumers of that segment can expect. Allow me to explain. Okay, now the base model, okay, at 44,000 ringgit, Perodua is throwing in LED headlamps, keyless entry, 4 airbags as standard, ESC as standard. Okay, so this is a segment of consumers that is just barely grasping into with the concept of having ABS and dual airbags, and now Perodua has raised the expectation of people buying cars in the 40,000 price bracket to go up to 4 airbags and electronic safety stability control and ISOFIX and all that. So in that sense, kudos to Perodua for throwing in this, for spending that extra money into this equipment that it probably Malaysians would still probably have bought that car in droves even without these equipments. But Perodua has not only made them available, they have made it standard. Okay, now but that's not really the headline news. The headline news is right at the top end of the range, where for the first time also in this price bracket, okay, because the next cheapest car with these features would be the 100,000 Hyundai Ioniq, double the price. Okay, I'm of course talking about the advanced safety assist package that includes, amongst others, autonomous emergency braking, pre-collision warning, front departure warning, and also what is that? The other one is pedal misoperation control. Okay, now I've written an article on Carlist.my, go read up on that, link in the description section, about how these features work, in greater detail. Okay, now the more important point that I want to stress today is this. This is a segment that, as I mentioned earlier, this is a segment that is just getting to grips with having airbags and ABS and ISOFIX. Okay, so Perodua has raised the bar on safety, on advanced safety in this segment by massive leaps. Okay, and when safety is concerned, where safety equipment is concerned, okay, fitting the equipment into the car is just half the battle, because the other half, okay, is communication. Okay, and the most important aspect of communication when it comes to safety equipment in a car is to communicate the limitations of those features. Okay, like for example, ABS. When a salesman sells a car with ABS, he or she has the obligation to explain to the consumer what ABS can do and cannot do. Okay, or ESC for that matter. Now with advanced safety assist, where the headline news is that the new Myvi has the ability to stop itself from speeds up to 30 kilometers per hour and thereby avert a collision. The fine print, the limitations of this system need to be communicated very clearly to the consumer. Okay, the consumer needs to understand when he or she buys this feature, there needs to be a clear understanding on how these features work, and more importantly on when these features do not work. Okay, now simply put, how does A.S.A. perceive the world? A.S.A. operates on what we call a stereoscopic camera system. So it does not use radar. Okay, it has two cameras at the windscreen that sees the world like how your eyes will see. So what happens is that the car, the software of the system has the ability to recognize the back of a car. Okay, it doesn't have pedestrian detection, but it can recognize the back of a car, and by comparing the two images of the camera, okay, as in like it compares how the two images of the camera, and through that it will judge the distance of that car to you. Okay, it's visual triangulation. It's exactly how our brain, okay, judges distance based on, you know, what our left eye sees versus our right eye sees. Okay, it's that. Now then there's a limitation that, okay, this system, firstly, it only works in clear weather, but then again, so does all other autonomous safety features that depend on sensors. Once you have heavy rain, all bets are off. The sensors will not be able to read the road conditions in front accurately, and it will self-turn off. Okay, now, and that means that what this really means is that the driver still has the responsibility to ensure that he or she remains in full control of the vehicle. Okay, and at the launch press conference where I attended last week, Perodua people were very frank in admitting that this is a very new, it is a, not say very new per se, it is a new for segment, but in the general scheme of things, when you stack this up against Honda sensing, against, you know, Volvo city safety, Perodua's A.S.A is, you know, right at the base of the food chain, of the technological food chain. So, but what can you expect, right? This is a system designed for a car, for a budget car. So you can't expect it to perform like you know, like what the same system that you would get in a Mercedes S-Class or a Volvo S90 for that matter. Okay, there are limitations, entirely understandable, but what is more important is that the consumers understand the limitations of the system, and the challenge now is on the sales force to adequately communicate, or to clearly communicate these limitations to the consumer. Okay, now off the back of my head, okay, I can straight away tell you that, okay, this, for starters, A.S.A only works at speeds up to 30 kilometers per hour. Okay, you may say, hey, look, at speeds of 30 kilometers per hour, how severe can the accident be? Isn't it more important to, you know, to prevent accidents that occur at higher speeds? Yes, that is true, but once again, remember that this is a system that is built on a budget. Okay, it is a system that is being offered, you know, at a car that is for the rakyat. So you can't expect magic. That's one. Second thing, at low speeds, it is low speed collisions are the ones that are most of the time are the most avoidable. Okay, and also at the same time most easy to happen, because it is at low speeds, it is at traffic jams when we are most susceptible to being bored, we zone off, or we get frustrated because some ding dong cut our road in front. So that is when low speeds is also when, you know, collisions are also most likely to happen. And even though it is less severe, but when you have a system that prevents you from that, you know, watches out for you, and helps you, keeps you from being involved in all these unnecessary hassles, it is a good thing to have. Okay, so the important thing is the consumer buying into these systems must be fully aware of its capabilities and its limitations. So you know, if you are buying in the new Perodua Myvi, okay, and I have no reason to discourage you from doing so. Do read up on, you know, clearly on what these systems can and cannot do, and those of you who are working in the sales team, okay, be very clear in your communication to the consumer on what these systems are made of. Okay, so that's it from me for this video. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.